Commission will now take up applications for special one-day licenses for alcohol beverages, beginning with malt beverages and wine only, or either one. John Resendez of the Trainview Pub for Saturday, September 26, 2009, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. The event is a fundraiser for Samantha Foote to be held in the parking lot of Trainview Pub at 1018 Gorham Street. Also, for a special one-day license for all alcoholic beverages, Robert Arcand of the Pastime Club for Sunday, September 20th, 2009, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The event is the 107th club outing to be held in the parking lot of the Pastime Club at 371 Moody Street. Luciano Almeida of the Holy Ghost Society at Holy Ghost Park, 65 Village Street. There are a number of scheduled events, starting with a wedding reception for Saturday, August 29th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. The Loretta Feast for Saturday, September 5th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. The feast as well for Sunday, September 6th, from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. And last, the Loretta Feast for Monday, September 7th, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. There is also the Portuguese Night Dinner for Saturday, September 12th, 2009, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. A wedding reception for Saturday, September 19th, from 6 p.m. to 1. Another wedding reception for Saturday, September 26th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. There is a Sweet 15 party for Saturday, October 3rd, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. The Madeira Night Dinner for Saturday, October 10th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. And the Sergio Royale event for Saturday, October 17th, 2009, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m.
It's a long way out.
Whatever, I mean, it's a month and a half.
Gentleman is applying for the Holy Ghost. It's his first time ever.
Yeah. And who is on this? Nancy Eagle and Maria Bettencourt? Are they going to be the licensee of record, or is he?
No, they may be the ones that are requested the use of the facility for the
Okay,
wedding reception.
all right.
Family members.
Yep.
married.
Okay. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
I'm John Resendez from 83 Stevens Street, Lowell.
Okay.
Good afternoon, I'm Robert Arcan, representing the Pastime Club.
Okay.
Good afternoon, I'm Luciano Almeida from Holy Ghost Society.
Okay. Luciano, are you an officer of the club?
Yes,
You are. What's your position?
I am the Vice President of the Assembly.
Okay. You have never had a license
No.
before, though. See, I remember pretty faces, you know what I mean?
know.
Oh. All right. We'll talk about that. All right, see, when you're there, we're going to talk about you first. I'm a little concerned here.
Okay.
You got an awful lot of events going till 1 o'clock in the morning. And you're
Yes.
going from from August 29th through to October 17th.
Correct, sir?
Of that, I think all but 2 events are 1 o'clock in the morning.
Correct. Okay.
Okay? It's the summertime. People are outside. People that do not have air conditioning. The poor people in Belvedere.
They wanted to drink, correct?
They need to have their windows open so they can get some fresh air.
Okay.
Okay? You are aware of the sound meter?
Yes, I do.
Okay? You understand that this is your license.
Correct.
The same with you gentlemen, this applies to you also. If this liquor license is granted, it's your license. It's not the Portuguese American Club. It's not Trainview. You're putting yourself in a double fix. You've got a liquor license for your premises, for the store that you have now, the bar that you have now. Now you want to go outside, so we'll talk about that in a second. But you understand that they're separate issues, totally separate. People don't walk from the inside of your place outside to have a beer. They buy the beer outside, the beverages are out there. Nobody, totally enclosed. In today's society, you've got to be aware of, unfortunately, a lot of people, they'll go to a wedding reception, they go to a party, somebody's tending bar, they say, get my daughter a sombrero. She's 19, it's okay. And then the daughter falls down the stairs and splits her head open, and the family comes back and is going to sue you because it was your fault. It was your fault.
Absolutely
You
right.
made them drink that sombrero. It was your fault.
Yes, sir.
So you got to be aware of that. I mean, because that's the way it goes today.
Yes, I am.
That's the way the judges look at it. That's the way the courts look at it. Unfortunately, it's a lot of stupidity. Nobody's held responsible for their own personal actions, and nobody wants to stand up anymore.
Okay.
But when you're running a charitable event like you folks are to raise money, to do something like that, you're putting yourself at risk.
Okay.
And I will say to you in all sincerity, thank God we have folks that are willing to do that, because if you weren't, nobody'd be doing anything. We'd all be standing around with our finger stuck in our ear or in the lower part of our anatomy, but I'm trying to be nice. We're on television, you got to be careful what you say. They bleep you. But anyways, the point being that it's your license, and so they go after your license, and they look at it and say, oh, he owns a home, he owns this, that. So you have to make sure that whomever you have tending bar, sometimes you end up in the best guy in the club says, no, don't worry about it, I'll be your bartender. Oh, no, thank you, because it's two for me and one for you, and before it's over, we're all blitzed and nobody. The other thing that I strongly advise you, we don't require that you hire a policeman. It's never been the policy of this, but it's worth looking at when you're running an outdoor event.
Okay.
To have a policeman on, to have a cell phone that's programmed, you can press the button, and it rings the police department. Okay. There is an ordinance in the city of Lowell that says, in simple terms, if you have a disturbance or any kind of altercation, you must call the police department. You must. It doesn't say try and break it up and you don't have to call it says you must call the police department. So if you see something developing, pick up the phone and call. Guess what? Right. They'll show up and they'll help you. And everything will go along great. But you know what? If they come there and the place is being torn apart, somebody's going to play hell after it's over. Because you're the ones that allowed that to happen. So, the park has been a wonderful asset to the community. It certainly is a terrific, extremely well-run place. In all the years that I've been here, I think we've only ever dealt with one fellow that we had problems with, and I don't know whether you voted him out. I hope you did, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. And we want to keep it that way, okay?
Yes,
we don't want to be looking up Andover Street and see him marching over the hill. I got a heart condition. It's not good for it, okay?
All right, sir.
All right,
We'll do
okay.
that. Thank you.
Captain Webb, how about the train view outside?
Mr. Chairman, as far as the train view goes, over the past 8 months, we've had 5 disturbance calls there.
5 what?
5 disturbance calls. And the staff has been cooperative, and they have called the police station when they were required to, so there's been no problem as far as the staff goes, and we have not brought the establishment in before you because we didn't feel there were any violations that were caused by the management of the train view. However, some of these disturbances were of a serious nature. 2 of them involved detail officers who were required to call for assistance. In one of these calls, when making an arrest, the detail officer recovered an unlicensed firearm from one of the defendants. On another occasion, when the detail officer had to call for assistance, and officers responded to help him out during the fight, an attempt was made to steal a gun from a police officer. And we do have some information as to the clientele that's frequenting the train view now, which in open session I don't care to get into any further details on that. But as a result of all this, the superintendent has required that 2 detail officers be assigned to the train view if they hire a detail. If all they want to hire is 1, they don't get sent an officer. They have to hire 2. And as far as having the outdoor event on this day in September, I know it's not your policy to require police officers be hired at these things, but in this particular case, we would suggest that 2 officers be required to work at the event.
Jack, why don't you step up and tell us, are you aware of these problems?
Some of them.
You are. What are you doing to
We're trying, we can't really afford to have 2 police there Friday and Saturday. We can afford to have 1 for each night. Because the place is really small, it can only hold like 80 people in there. And
Yeah.
it's been really so. So when it gets busier and we get some more money, I don't mind putting two details officers over there. And as far as the event goes, we're gonna have 2 or 3 officers there.
You're going to?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna say, then we're gonna have an agreement on the license that you're gonna agree to at least 2 police officers.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And, you know, what you need to do then is you need to get a hold of the police department and notify them of the time and everything you want them, so that there's no botching on, you know, details. People think that all these guys are gonna do is sit around and, you know, answer the calls. Well, a lot of times, they don't have enough police officers to cover everything. And if it was me, I would always go to the place that's quiet instead of going to the place that could be in trouble. But, you know, obviously, you're trying to do something, because I think they would have brought the complaints forward, you know, and where they haven't. So obviously, they must be on your side. And I think that's good for people to know
We'll try.
that
We'll try
you
as
can
best as
have
we
a
can.
problem, and the police can help you, and it doesn't necessarily mean to have to land here. But when you have a problem like that, hopefully you'll learn from it. You learn from it, you make sure your staff at the inside and the outside is fully aware of everything that's going on and what they should say and what they should do in the event that there's any type of a problem. I'm glad to hear that, you know, you've called the police at the time, and you're abiding by it, and I think, you know, I guess I'm using you as an example right now that you can call the police and not get in trouble, provided you cooperate. So, that's agreeable to you?
Yes.
That stipulation? Okay. Bob, have you been before? Come over here, please. Have you been before us before?
Yes.
Yeah, I seem to remember you, okay? You're gonna have this, the parking lot closed off?
Yes, we're gonna have an orange mesh fence going around the parking lot.
Okay, and you don't let cars in the section that you're serving the drinks in, right?
Correct.
You put them on the other side, or? Okay.
Yes.
That's all. Okay, gentlemen, back up to the center. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
No
I'll just-
questions.
I'll just make a motion to approve with the condition on the train view that they hire 2 detail officers for
The outside.
September 26, 2009, from 3 to 10.
Which would be outside. If you're open inside, that's a separate thing. You agree? Okay? All right, motion made and seconded, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Why don't the rest of you just stay right there? I guess most of you got outdoor public entertainment amplified. Go ahead.
Commissioner will now take up the matter of applications for special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment. Victor Hernandez.
Is Victor Hernandez here?
Okay, then I'll go, the next item is
Okay.
Luciano Almeida of the Holy Ghost Society for live music, a
Okay.
sound system for the outdoor area of the Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street. The Loretto Feast for Saturday, September 5th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. Also for the feast on Sunday, September the 6th, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And again, the feast for Monday, September the 7th, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And also John Resendez of the Trainview Pub for band with DJ with the sound system for Saturday, September 26th, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. The event is a fundraiser for the Samantha Foot to be held in the parking lot of the Trainview Pub.
Okay, Victor Hernandez is not here. Okay. Amplified sound.
Just,
Yep.
we don't need Robert Arcand, do we? He's not getting any. You're all set.
You're not having any music in the parking lot, Mr. Arcan?
Excuse me?
You're not having any music in the parking lot?
No, we're not.
You're not?
No. It's gonna be just boys playing games out in the parking lot.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. It was a good thought. It shows he was thinking. You gotta give him credit. Okay. Guys, you know, an amplified license is a simple thing. It's what I call a common sense license. If you can walk 3 blocks away from your place and you can still hear the music like you're standing there, you know what? You're in violation of your license. If you go to the end of the Quali Stadium parking lot and I can hear your music, guess what? You're in violation of your license. It's that simple. There is an enjoyable level Then you got all the wackos that's, oh, give it some more bass, let's crank it up, you know? So all of a sudden, everybody's windows are pounding, and then they come walking in and say, I don't know why, you know, the sound guy did it. Well, you're responsible for the sound guy, you're paying him. So you know what, don't give him till a check until it's over and say, you know, I don't care what people say, there has to be a common sense level, so we don't keep everybody in the city of Lowell awake, okay? All right.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Good luck, guys.
Okay?
Thank you.
Next on the agenda.
Commission will now open the hearing on the application by Amanje Inc., doing business as Quick Mart, Ushila Patel, president for a malt beverage and wine only packaged goods store license for premises at 1401 Gorham Street. Doors on the north side, doors on the south side, one-story building, approximately 945 square feet of retail space. It is requested that Ushila Patel be approved as the manager of record for Amanje Inc., and that Amanje Inc. has also applied for a license for common victular for the premises at 1401 Gorham Street.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, this is an application for a public hearing. A legal notice had been published in the local newspaper
Yep.
in which abutters had to be notified, those who are property owners touching, and any church, school, or hospital within 500 feet. Attorney representing the applicant provided documentation about the proper notifications being sent, certified mail return receipt request.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, we're going to postpone this. My fellow commissioner has recused himself from the hearing, and the other commissioner's on his way here. He's in court, Mr. Attorney. I imagine you can understand that. Judges are not very understanding. So if it's all right with you, we'll do the next thing on the agenda, and when Commissioner Weicker comes in, we'll hear it, all right?
You voted twice before, haven't you?
You're not gonna capture me on that one, Andy. Okay? We'll put it off for right now, if it's okay.
Commission will now open the hearing on an application by Indian Restaurants LLC, doing business as Priya Indian Cuisine, Sampath Damini, manager for the transfer of the all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license from Kebab Inc., doing business as Kebab Indian Grill, Krishna P. Yelaman Chelli, president. This premises at 1270 Westford Street, unit number 10, an unnumbered door leading to the basement entrance, 2 unnumbered doors for egress, 2 dining rooms, a bar area, kitchen, and 3 storage rooms. The applicant, Indian Restaurants LLC, is requesting that Sampath Damini be approved as the manager of record, and that the LLC, Indian Restaurants, has filed for the following minor license applications: for common victular, entertainment for licensed restaurant, for live music, disc jockey and jukebox, and for automatic amusement device.
Okay. So this is a transfer. Okay, so I should see if there's anybody who wants to speak up. You can offer it. Yeah. Oh, but it's not mandatory. Okay. This was the old, Drum Hill place down under? Yeah, did they, okay. Okay. Introduce yourself for the record. We're just trying to, sort these out, sorry.
Thank you.
Billman told you.
I'm Attorney Bob Carnavale, and I represent the buyer, Sam Damini, of Indian Restaurants, LLC, DBA Prior Indian Cuisine.
Okay,
The seller has also got a representative here.
okay. How we gonna go? Let's see. right, so you want to transfer, you already, the place already has a full liquor license.
Yes, it does.
Okay, and so you want to transfer now, you got Indian restaurants, is there more than one?
That's it.
Just one?
Yes.
Okay. This gentleman's name?
Sampath Damineni?
Okay, have you been in you want to be the manager of record?
Yes.
Okay, have you ever been in the liquor business?
Yes, in Connecticut, we have a restaurant, Priya Indian Cuisine, for past 5 years.
Where?
In
Connecticut.
Rocky Hill, Connecticut,
Connecticut?
Rocky Hill, Connecticut. Oh, okay.
a suburb of Hartford.
Okay. All right.
And I moved to Lowell.
He has moved to Lowell.
Okay. We haven't had any problems with that since they changed that over.
No, no problems, Mr. Commissioner.
No, okay.
Hi, my name is Prasad. I'm with Kebab Incorporation. We had the restaurant for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's an excellent family restaurant, and they want to carry out the same. And we never ever had not even one single issue. It was a pure family restaurant. So.
Okay.
Is it Sam, not Prasad, but
Yeah.
is it Sampath?
Yeah.
Now, on your application that you filed, it says that there's no prior experience in the liquor industry. And I think you just said that you did have experience, or did I mishear that?
Yeah, we have liquor thing. I'm not the manager over there, but I have I was there. I was watching everything, and
Okay,
so,
but the license was
He
never...
has an interest in it, but he's not the manager.
yeah, I'm not the manager over
Okay,
there.
so you were never responsible for a liquor license?
No, I'm not responsible for liquor.
Have you ever taken a tips course or
Could you please repeat?
Of course.
a tips course? Have you ever taken a Massachusetts certified tips?
That I'm planning to take.
Okay. Now, who's going to run your restaurant? I mean, this gentleman here, most of your family pretty much ran it, right?
Yes.
If I remember correct. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Now,
It was me and my partner. We were running. We had we're basically software engineers, but we got into the restaurant business, and then we had other things to move on. So we just these people we went to the restaurant. And they want to carry the same kind of a thing, same family restaurant and that thing. So.
But he has agreed to stay on and manage until there is a transfer of the liquor license.
He has to stay on and manage. He has to stay on and manage. There's no way about it, no way around it. He's the manager until it's transferred.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to stay until that happens, until it gets...
Yes, everything.
Okay. I'd like to see you get some kind of background with Massachusetts laws and liquor laws. I know that it's a family business, don't get me wrong, but we have a lot of people that come in here that it's a family business, and the problem is you can't fire your son or daughter because they're going to end up disowning you.
Yeah.
Okay? So so sometimes a family business isn't the best place to be with a liquor license because you have to make sure that your family understands that that's your livelihood.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, again, then it's not a policy of our board, but I'd like to see I think people need to bring themselves current with the laws because every single day it seems there's changes. Today with computers, it's unbelievable the things these kids can do. They can reproduce a driver's license that the good Lord himself couldn't tell the difference. And you need to be on top of those things constantly.
Okay.
Obviously, your predecessor has been.
Okay.
And, just so you know, I mean, I have no sympathy for somebody that doesn't educate themselves. You want to be in this business, and when you step in that arena, there's certain responsibilities. So, this gentleman's going to stay on as manager right now. That's going to give you time to, sign up for a course that periodically they offer courses around the area, but there is a company in Billerica.
Okay.
I should go there one of these days and get some of their flyers. But there's a company in Billerica that teaches bartending, and it's a certified tips school.
Okay.
And I forget, it's not that expensive, but you'd be surprised the things that you can learn that you would never think of, okay?
I'll be very happy to take that.
Okay. You know, I think it does you a lot of good. I took the course, and I don't serve booze or anything. I just wanted to see what it was like, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So I think if I was in that business, I'd take every step that I could to make sure that I protected myself. Okay?
Sure.
I don't see a problem with the application where, you know, the place certainly has taken a remarkable turnaround in the past 2 years. Another family business certainly can't hurt Lowell. And, you know, I just think you need to get yourself up to date. I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes. And I just, I know the prior owners have done a really good job of beautifying that plaza at the end where they are, and it looks really good, so I hope you do a good job in maintaining that, and thank you for investing in the city.
Yeah, sure. We will definitely do that.
Great.
Good.
Thank you,
Yep.
Brian.
I could show you the inside, the sparkling. clean.
Sure, let's see it. Let's see what he did with it. We know what it was like before. Unfortunately.
They did a good job.
Boy, did they ever.
Yeah.
So like we had a fountain and it's a, you know, Brian. so
Makes you
it's a-
want to run out and get married again. No.
They want to serve food, not just alcohol.
No,
They
yeah.
have children in there.
Oh, very nice. Yep,
Good job.
yep. Good place. Nice place. Very good.
All of the
You see 'em?
laws.
You seen them? Okay. There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing, Attorney Cannavale, it was the ABCC must also approve the transfer before the license is actually in the new entity, the Indian Restaurants LLC. So that may take several weeks.
Plus, they're going to send the application to DOR. The taxes better be paid.
Yeah.
They're brutal.
We got a certificate of good standing, I hope.
Well,
They said if we paid $33 more,
okay. Next on the agenda. Yeah.
Commission will now take up the matter to do with an application by Geraldo Magella Almeida for a used car dealer license Class 2 for premises at 50 Perry Street, an open lot approximately 5,400 square feet, with a building for office and a two-bay garage approximately 1,300 square feet. At present, there is a licensee known as Carway Auto Center, Inc. Lucia McAloon is the president. The license number is 726-B. It's a Class 2 used car dealer with the following conditions on that license. The maximum number of vehicles for sale and storage is 14 per license commission, and that there to be no junk vehicles or parts on the premises, and there not to be any vehicles parked on the street or sidewalk.
Introduce yourself for the record.
My name is Gerald Majara Jomida.
Okay. And your name, ma'am?
My name is Lucia McAloon. I am the president of the Carway.
Okay, so you're the present license holder,
Yes.
okay? And have you dealt with used cars before, sir?
Yes, in Brazil.
Huh?
In Brazil.
Brazil.
He had a business car dealer in Brazil.
Oh, in Brazil?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We're going to transfer your license to him. Why are you, can I just start a curiosity? I understand that he doesn't speak English, or,
He speaks just a little. He
Huh?
understands a little.
yeah. Well, how are we going to do this?
Oh, well, he has a lot of clients, Portuguese clients and Spanish clients, so he's going to do good.
Yeah, but he, you know, he wants the car license. Somebody goes down and buys a car. Now they got a problem.
But he is going to have people working with him that speaks Portuguese
Yeah,
and
but
English.
they don't own the business. He does.
Yeah.
That's the key here. That's what bothers me. He owns a business that he really doesn't understand what's going on. I mean, he can tell his employees in his native language what he wants to have done, but unfortunately, what they're representing, he might not have any idea. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, yeah.
Wouldn't it seem, it would, are you getting out of the business completely?
Yes, I'm getting out of the business. I want them to have responsibility. But he has a manager that is his brother that was working with me, so he's going to stay until he speaks English fluently, at least.
Okay, have you gotten a bond on it yet?
I'm sorry?
Have you gotten your bond?
Well, yes, we applied today.
Have you gotten it, though?
Not yet.
Not yet?
We applied today,
Okay.
but
I
has
think
to
the
be
first
approved.
thing that we ought to do is just, you know, I think I'd like to see that you have a bond in hand
Yeah,
before we go any further, okay?
okay.
You know, and I'm not saying, I want you to know, I mean, I'm not saying this guy's dishonest or anything, I'm just saying he's gonna be selling, he's selling cars through a third party. Okay? He has absolutely no idea what those salesmen are representing his cars at. But you know what? Bottom line, he's gonna be liable. And when something goes wrong, they come back to the used car dealer, they come back to him.
Yeah.
He don't understand what they're complaining about. You know, it just doesn't, I don't know, maybe it's just me. What do you think?
And look, I don't think that language is going to be a barrier, but, I mean, there are, you know, a lot of administrative requirements you're just going to have to be able to meet. Okay, those are going to fall squarely on your shoulders. I'm more concerned with making sure that we have a complete application, which includes the fact that there's actually a bond in place before we're looking to surrender one license at the premises and issue another. So I'd rather see the completed application.
Okay.
Okay, yes, he applied today in the morning for the bond, and they have to be approved, so.
Typically, for a calendar year, it's 10%, which the bond is $25,000 minimum. $2,500. So, applying for the bond.
Math wasn't your strong point.
he did one.
by applying for the bond, he receives it, he pays the premium. And then the question is whether you want to be granted the license or not. But in other instances, we've had people applying without the bond in hand, provided they were granted the license, then they could pursue the bond, and then I wouldn't issue the Class 2 license until I had a copy of the bond, proof of the bond's existence, under the same corporate entity or individual who was applying for the license. So it's all the same. The issue is whether the question of language, and he's predominantly, he speaks Portuguese predominantly, then the question is the barrier. If his customers are all Portuguese-speaking customers, then I guess that's not an issue for us, but it's obviously the English-speaking customers predominant. And whether it's
Well, I mean, going along with what Ray's saying, okay, how many of these we've gotten into that, you know, they don't keep the proper records, they don't keep the proper slate. You know, I'm not saying that he wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying that we've tried to cooperate in the past, and it seems all too often we get burnt. These things end up falling by the roadside, and somebody says, "Oh, I'll take care of that," when we, you know, but they don't.
Well, I think one of the things the commission needs to look at is the zoning and the fact that it's a very strict and tight neighborhood in terms of its, the buildings. There's always been a concern, and neighbors have always called periodically, complain about cars being on the street, cars straddling the sidewalk and the street in that area. And that's always been, that location has been the focus in the past, not that it had been in recent years. And issues of that type, if they should come up, Geraldo is, would he be in a position to address those concerns, whether they come by way of the inspection services, whether they come by way of the police department, anyone who acquires such a license, Class 2, has to, if they wish to have dealer plates, they have to apply to the registry. The concerns I've experienced with those people that have held licenses is the frustration, and I can tell you, the frustration I've heard of people not getting their titles to the vehicles they've purchased. And it is one horror show.
Yep.
So I don't know how to place that.
Could I just ask a question to the law department? In terms of using applicants' English language ability in making a determination as to a license, how would you advise us on that?
Well, they have to comply with all the rules and regulations and have to show to you that they actually have the knowledge. My suggestion would be is to defer to the next meeting to make sure he has the bond. My understanding from Ms. McLoon?
Lucia McAloon, yes.
McLoon, is that his brother?
His brother is my manager, yes.
His brother is manager?
Yes.
And that he speaks English? And
He speaks English,
he's going
yes.
to still manage?
Yes.
I would put it over for that date to have him come here. One, because the questions I have is, you have the seller representing the buyer, saying the buyer's going to do this,
Right.
but they're not necessarily, they have the same interests. But if you have the brother here who can translate, who's going to be the manager, that would be...
He's here right now, isn't he?
Yes, he's
Oh,
here.
he's here?
He's here,
Then
yeah.
I would...
I guess, well,
He,
I'll let
well,
you
he
finish.
would be, if you have to feel comfortable knowing that the licensee will be responsible for all the rules and regulations. There is no requirement that he has to speak English or understand it. However, the law is going to say he needs to know it. And it won't be a defense that he didn't know this or didn't know that. He would be assuming all the risk on that. But maybe, you know, going through the brother may be the best way to do it.
I guess my one concern about requiring the bond ahead of time, that's a lot of money for someone to upfront on a bond. If you have to pay 10% of $250,000, which I think is... Oh, $25,000. $250 is $250 that you're not going to get back. And I know in the past, we have allowed applications to proceed without the bond until the bond is presented to us, and then it would be issued to them. But to be out $250 is,
Even if you set the bond aside, okay?
Or $2,500
Let's-
whatever.
Let's set that aside, okay? All right. We're creating a mini bureaucracy here. I mean, I can see the nightmare developing right now, okay? This gentleman's gonna have the license, all right? He doesn't understand English. He has no idea whether the used car dealer that works for him, that sold the car, told the guy, you know, this was owned by a little old lady, got 50 miles on it, only went to church on Sunday, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and so now we got his brother. Well, brothers don't always agree. It goes way back in the Bible with Cain and Abel, okay? Not to get carried away, but brothers do not always agree. Okay, so we've got one guy who doesn't speak English, doesn't understand English, but he's going to be responsible for all the laws and all the liability and the compliance and everything in order to get this license, and we got another brother who's going to interpret and be the manager. It's a recipe for disaster.
One other suggestion may well be that perhaps Mr. Almeida and his brother want to speak to a lawyer about whether or not they'd want to form a corporation, and it could be transferred to a corporation, and then the brother could be the manager. I mean, that would be an option rather than having it in Mr. Almeida's name himself. I don't know if they want to consult an attorney, but that's an option they may want to look at.
Can I ask you a question, Counselor? Can't you get a letter from your insurance company if you want to get a bond, or I want to get insurance for a one-day liquor license, okay? I can call my insurance company and ask them, could I get this? I don't want it, but I want to know, can I buy this? Send me a letter on your letterhead stationery saying, yes, you'll be able to buy this bond for so much money at such a price. If he has that, he hasn't spent a dime. All he's done is taken steps to make sure that he could get the bond. So he comes in, and I'm perfectly willing to pass that on the strength of something like that. What I'm talking about here is, if I was the bonding company, I said, whoa, wait a minute. You're giving a license to a guy, and he seems like a nice enough gentleman, and everybody, you're giving a license to somebody that doesn't understand the language, and another guy is going to control the thing. It's a recipe. To me, it just seems like a recipe for disaster. But if he wants it that bad, why can't he contact his insurance company and just ask him for a letter saying that he would be able to buy a bond for whatever?
I don't know if that would succeed. He certainly can ask, and maybe he will get a letter.
You know, rather than spend, I agree with Brian. I don't think the guy should throw the money away and get it right away. But, you know, I'm sure you can call an insurance company and say, hey, you know, they're running a fair. What's it going to cost me for a one-day liquor license?
If he submitted an application, I would, and again, this is up to between him and the bonding agency, but if he submitted the application, certainly he could ask for a letter saying, you know, look, this is what you've asked for, we anticipate it, or, you know. But again, I don't know what his company would do.
But I don't either. But we're sitting here talking in generalities, and we're talking about, I agree with both my fellow commissioners. We have done this in the past, but we've never done it on the blind. And we're doing it on the blind here because this gentleman that wants to be the owner of this business doesn't read or write English, period. I mean, I'm not using the language against him. And we're taking a risk at his brother's going to be, you know, I just don't, I think that you need to, I don't know. I think we'll have people in here like we've had in the past that have bought automobiles and they never got the titles, and then they'd go back and the guy that sold them the car didn't work there anymore. And the guy, look at the guy, the secretary banging his head up and down, yes, because when we've all been through this here, we have people writing us all the time saying, go after that car dealer because he didn't give me my title. We're not responsible for delivering titles, but we are responsible for at least trying to set the business up or to license the business in a proper format. And proper format means bottom line, he is responsible for the titles. He is responsible for the records.
I agree, and I guess at this point, I'm wondering what you're asking of the law department.
Let me ask you this, could we require as a condition of the transfer that he has a document that's notarized by a notary public in the Commonwealth that he understands the rules and regulations associated with having a use or secondhand motor vehicle license in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and he's understands the liability associated with that, and he could sign some sort of acknowledgement that he's read it, understood it, and is aware of the liability that he could incur.
Well, again, he's going to be responsible for it regardless, but
Right.
you certainly could
But
do
as
that. I mean, again, that would just,
I mean, you guys are lawyers. You
know,
set this up in a corporation that owns
that
nothing.
would just show that
So
he
there's
couldn't
the
use it
people
in a
got nothing
defense
to
later
do.
on. But also, if his brother is here, and his brother's going to be the manager, you may want to, you know, use the brother as an interpreter right now and just
Well,
speak to him rather than Mrs.
Right.
Maloon.
Could you come up to this, and what's your name?
I know.
Jose?
My name is Jose.
Okay. I guess the concern is, and you can tell this to your brother, I don't feel comfortable having not an adverse party, but a party whose interests aren't the same, translating.
I understand what you're talking about.
We just want to demonstrate to the board that your brother understands what is occurring. He understands the laws of the Commonwealth in regards to secondhand motor vehicles. He understands the liability, and he understands that his language barrier can't be used as a defense to any action that's brought against him.
Yeah, I understand. I'm doing this in this country for more than 5 years, and I'm doing this every single day. And I'll be in my shop, like repairing cars, selling cars, and getting all the problems, all the complaints. I'm doing everything that I can. And I already talked to him about this, all the laws, and I explained to him. In my country, he already did this business.
Yeah.
He just coming in this business right now.
Right.
Because he didn't did this before here in this country. Like just 3 months he worked, I'm sorry, he's working with me over there. We're just learning right now.
Right.
But I'm on that place on 50 Parish Street for more than 4 years. I'm working like an employee for another company before,
Right.
and I'm working with Lucia for 1 year. And I came,
Why don't you get the license?
I don't have money now. I'm working hard because I have a big
But
family.
he's your brother.
Yeah, he's my
And,
brother.
and you're going to be responsible for the whole thing, and he's got the money.
Yeah.
So why don't you go to a lawyer and have an agreement drawn up and you get the thing? This is your country, not your country over there. This is your
Yeah,
country.
this
Right
is my
here,
country now.
America.
Yeah, I
Okay?
love this
And
country.
you got to go by American rules and American,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be difficult, but he's got the money, you got the brains, get together and you own a car business. Wonderful. And then somebody's liable for what's going on. Just like you have a business that you're liable for, you would be a little more attentive to your brothers, and you can only be in one place at one time.
Yeah, I know.
But if your brother lent you the money, you put the business in his name, it's his business,
Yeah.
but you carry the license, and that solves the problem right there.
Well, I guess if you don't want to do that, before I would vote to approve the license, I would want to see some sort of documentation that's notarized by a notary public in the Commonwealth that your brother understands the rules and regulations relative to secondhand motor vehicle license here in the
Yeah,
Commonwealth.
I never had time to go to school here in this country. I just understanding and learning my English by myself. And I already told
And I'm
him,
sure he will too.
because he's here more than 5 years. I told him, you have to go to school and learn, because
Right.
here, you're in the United States, you should speak English. You
Right.
should understand. And now I told him when he came here to work over there, I
Right.
told him we have to go to school every single day to learn how people are talking about.
Yep. So do you understand what I'm saying? That we'd like some sort of document from,
Yeah.
acknowledged by him that he knows what's going on here.
Okay.
So why don't we make a motion to continue this to the next meeting?
Yeah.
And you provide us with that documentation, and we'll consider it then.
I'll second that motion, because my concern is this. I don't know if you've explained to your brother that failure to deliver a title at the time of the sale of a used car
Yeah.
is a jailable offense. I
Yeah.
mean, the police could arrest somebody for doing that,
Yeah, I understand what you're
okay? So, I mean,
Yeah, we're
you
not,
know, and look, there are a lot of those laws sitting out there on the books, and there are a lot of regulations with the Registry of Motor Vehicles as far as the records that need to be kept and the documentation that needs to be forwarded to them, and the way everything needs to be accounted for. And we just want to make sure he's aware of all that, because right now, the only person who's representing that is the person who's selling the business to him.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to second that
And,
motion.
and I just want you to know, we're doing this not as, we're doing this to protect your brother and
Yeah,
to
I-
protect the consumers in Lowell. But if he does this, I mean, I think I would look favorably on it, but I just
Yeah.
want to make sure that he knows what he's getting himself into. And it's hard because he doesn't have command of the English language right now to do it.
Yeah, that's why I came here with them.
Right.
You know, I'm just a manager. He's the president. He's going to be in the owner. That's why I just came here to say.
Oh, no, and I
everything that
appreciate that, and I agree with Commissioner Occasion. Really just looking out for his interests, looking out for the consumers. As long as he knows what he's getting into, look, there's been a business there for years. As long as it's running well, we're happy. As long as everybody else is happy, we want to make sure he knows what he's getting into. So I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes?
Yes.
No.
So,
All right.
September 10th,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. Thank you.
And you're going to provide documentation to us that he
You'd
understands.
just be a
Okay.
lot smarter off, you two guys forming a you got lawyers that form a corporation, have your brother put up the money, then you can train him the way you want him. He can take us, you can't learn all this stuff overnight.
Yes.
You are not gonna know this by the next meeting you come in.
You know, everything needs time.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you and he form,
Do I need to come back here again?
the next meeting, they voted the
Do I
next
need-
meeting.
I would-
September 10th.
Yeah, September 10th.
All right.
She doesn't have to come back.
Oh, that's my question.
Oh, she does?
If she's
Oh.
surrendering her license.
It's very important that the commission understand that this woman holds the license, she's the principal in the license that's known as Carway Auto Center, Inc. If he doesn't have his bond,
Yep.
then, in conversation I had with her before the meeting, she wants to retain the license. Would you be,
Well, then-
would she be prepared that this license be canceled even if the bond is not been issued?
Okay, keep the license until they get there, and so they can start working on their license, and mine is gonna be surrender, right? That's what's,
What we wanna know is, if they don't get their license, do you still want your license?
until they get there, yeah. I want them to continue the business there.
Oh, I know, because they're the buyer, and I'm not trying to be difficult, we're not stupid, we understand you got a buyer, and you want them, but you know what, if they can't come up with a bond, do you still want your license?
Now I can say yes.
Okay,
Maybe later I can
then you
change.
gotta be here the next meeting.
Okay,
All right. Thank you. Have a good afternoon. Okay.
thank you.
Just a couple of matters, no hearings as such, but the office received an application by Louis Ibarra, who's doing business as Delicious Pieces Bakery and Restaurant. He has a common vittler's license that was just issued for 392 Bridge Street. He would also like to have a beer and wine license to go with the restaurant. I've given copies of the application. The legal notice would be published for Friday, August the 28th. About is to be notified, and there is 2 churches within 500 feet, and the hearing to be scheduled for September 10th.
So moved.
Okay.
Is that enough time for notice? That's enough time for publication?
Oh, yeah. And we also have a communication from the superintendent of police, just came in this morning, with respect to a licensee known as Racer Toppy Inc., doing business as Willie Tops. Racer Toppy is the manager of record. It's an all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 731 Lakeview Ave. Now, I know you haven't had a chance to look at the complaint, but there's three aspects to the complaint that I would think maybe the commission will have to address separately and not consider it as one. In other words, the hearing, if there is to be a hearing scheduled, you have three separate instances, separate matters that follow, certain regulations and laws have been affected separately. So
Make
the
a
nature
motion,
of
we
this
get 'em in.
complaint is kind of unusual in that it comprises three separate dates, three separate complaints in one communication. And I don't know whether this is an attempt by the superintendent to try to get the License Commission to look at this as one issue, as opposed to separate issues.
Either way, the gravity of the issues will sustain themselves. So if
Don't you think we should look at it three separate issues, though?
you want
Yeah, I
to do it
would.
three separate?
Because my concern is, I mean, one of these is listed as going back to July 10th, and this is the first we're hearing about it. So we've had at least one meeting that this wasn't brought to our attention. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
As far as the issue from July 10th, the reason that that wasn't brought forward right away, there was a very serious investigation going on into a triple shooting that these people were involved in as far as getting this information about the incident in July 10th. So we didn't want to compromise that investigation and bring this forward in the middle of it.
Okay. Well, are we going to hear all three complaints at the same meeting as three separate complaints? Or are we going to have them come back three times?
Well, my sense is that you have three separate incidents, three separate occasions. Now, I suspect that if you were to take so the first one, and again, we haven't really properly given it a proper review in terms of the nature, but one instance has to do with a minor. Another instance has to do with an individual on the dance floor who allegedly was assaulted by another patron. And a third matter to do with activity that spilled out into the public way and not necessarily directly on the premises itself. And at that point, at that instance, you have an employee of the business who is from the nature of the complaint, is very fresh to the Lowell police.
Yep.
And
So what should we do? Should we do them three separate meetings, or?
You can do whatever you want, however, the ABCC is going to require, whether it's in one notice, three notices, if it's three different dates, if it's all in one date, they're gonna wanna see findings of fact or disciplinary anything for each one. They're not gonna wanna say, based on these three, we find X. It's like, no, they're gonna wanna know the three different events, what do you find for each one? So whether it's one notice or three notices or three hearings or one hearing, you're gonna have to address all three separately some way or the
Okay.
other.
Three hearings the same day?
Sure.
Okay.
I have a question with respect to subpoena powers, administrative subpoena powers. What do we need to do to get those in play? Because I'm looking at least one of these, and the entire basis for the claim of a sale to a minor is the statement by the minor while at another location that they had been served alcohol while at this location. So, I mean, a police officer can tell me he heard that, and that's nice to hear, but he has no firsthand knowledge as to where the person consumed alcohol. So unless we can get these witnesses in here, I'd like the law department to look into subpoenaing all these people.
Well, the law department can't subpoena them. Your licensing body can,
Right.
but the law department can't.
All right, well, then I'll make the motion to go ahead and subpoena all the named witnesses in these police reports.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 so, I'm sorry, what is it
We're going to send out a subpoena on all the witnesses.
we can't subpoena, the court has to authorize a subpoena.
Your administrative agency, again, you're
Under the
not quite
Administrative
30A, but
Procedures Act.
analogizing to it, this body, because we have done it in previous cases where they've got subpoenas, because this doesn't relate to, someone can't go to court to get a subpoena for administrative agency where there's nothing pending, but any administrative body that has hearings and can issue has the power of subpoena. However, if you're gonna do it, then it begs the question of, how many people are being subpoenaed and what day are you subpoenaing them for? Are you going to call everyone in for 2 weeks for today? A month? You know, you need to figure out that, look, if you are going to subpoena everyone, you should be cognizant of the cost effect to have them served. That, is it going to be in 2 weeks when the person may or may not have an attorney, may request a continuance? Is it going to be, you know, the meeting after that? Like, those things need to be flushed out and decided before the subpoenas get issued. But I would think you'd want to have them appear date certain and not have them reschedule. You don't want to inconvenience the witnesses to
September 24th.
any hearing.
September 24th. I say we have them come in.
All right. Yeah, I think September 24th works.
September 24th. So you want all of the principals or the
witnesses.
witnesses to be subpoenaed?
Oh, yeah.
And again, I would point out that for administrative hearing, you certainly can request their presence. However, their presence is not required under any law. I just want to point that out.
Well, I think it would be in the police department's best interest to make sure they're here, just in terms of if they're alleging a complaint.
Yeah, I
it'd be in
mean,
their best interest
at
to
least-
have.
Well, the police officer,
Looking-
generally, again, what's normally done is the police officers come and testify.
We understand what's normally done, and I'm just telling you that in doing just a cursory review of the first complaint, a police officer is told by 2 underage people that, oh, we bought our beer at this location. Well, okay, the police officer can come in and tell me that, and I have no witness that actually...
Right, and I agree.
And so, I mean, if we're not going to bring them in, we may as well just throw that complaint out right now, because I won't have any evidence in front of me unless I have a witness.
Well, then, do you want just for the ones where the police have no independent corroborative knowledge, or do you want every single witness from all 3 events?
Well, could we do this? Could we set the meeting, those hearings down for the 24th? At the next meeting, September 10th, it will give Commissioner Weicker, Commissioner Bayless, and myself a chance to review the complaint as alleged by the police department, and then that'll give 2 weeks to issue those subpoenas.
And then you can figure out who you
Yes.
want. I think that's a much better
Okay.
approach.
Okay,
Okay, is that a motion or,
I'll second.
okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I trust everybody will be at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Had I not been held in Essex Superior Court, you know.
Should I call the attorney's rulers? He's gone. Yep. Mr. Chairman, regarding the matter to the application for a public hearing for Armanje Inc., doing business as Quick Mart for 1401 Coram Street, it must have been, apparently there was a misunderstanding. Attorneys rulers representing the applicant and all parties with him appear to have vacated the building. There's no sign of them outside the council chamber nor on the first floor. So there was a misunderstanding apparently when, obviously,
All right, then, you know, where it's a public hearing, I think what we ought to do is, are you here to speak on this hearing, sir? Okay. Well, we should. We don't want to make him come back. No?
we don't have anybody to present the application. I have no one's here to speak on behalf of the applicant.
Well, let me ask, is it possible within the rules so this gentleman doesn't have to come back to open it for public comment? We know what the application is. To open it for public comment, I don't know if he's here to speak in favor or against, and leave it open, continue the hearing until the next scheduled date.
It's more, I'm not trying to give, it's our fault. We should have explained ourselves better that we were definitely going to hear it.
It's a unique circumstance. Essentially, the only guiding principle you have at this point is, good faith in trying to work it. If it's possible, if he could come back, that would be preferable. If he can't, maybe you take a statement now and just say, look.
Okay,
again,
could you come back for the next hearing? Thank you. That solves that right there. I'll make a motion that we postpone.
He's just asking for when that is.
We're going to, September.
Our next regular meeting would be scheduled for the Thursday, September 10th at 3 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you, sir. Sorry about that.
And I
That's our
apologize.
fault, not yours. No, I'm sorry. I didn't want to, as long as he can come back, I don't want the guy to feel like we blew him off, I think we got to send attorneys to rule us a letter saying, we're sorry for the misunderstanding, but,
Well, I was sitting right here while I think you made it perfectly clear, and
I thought it was clear. I thought they just stepped out.
I did.
I made a comment.
It's kind of like talking to my kids, They
said-
only understand the
I
money
said-
part.
I said I hope he enjoyed staying in the sauna, and, we'd see him later today. And I don't know what happened, but they all did leave.
Yeah.
Well.
Well,
I don't know.
all right, we just postponed it, right?
I would just continue it. I would
Continue
just
it.
Continue
Motion
it. 'Cause,
to
again,
continue the hearing.
It shouldn't have to be, you shouldn't have to repost, do everything where,
Okay.
everyone was here. Apparently, everyone who was going to speak was here and then left with the exception of one person who now knows to come back at the next meeting.
Okay.
So I think it's the best as it's going to get.
It's best it's going to get. So do you want that in the form of a motion?
No,
Can you make something up?
I will just, for circumstances that are misunderstanding on the part of the applicant,
Right.
having misunderstood that,
It's the lawyer's fault. They don't understand anything. You ever try and deal with a lawyer? They're horrible. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
okay, well, we know for a fact that Commissioner Occasion has recused himself from the
Okay.
matter.
Yeah.
That's a certainty.
That's he
So
can't
it's
say.
contingent upon yourself
I'll try
and
to make
Commissioner
it.
Weicker being present. Otherwise, there will be no hearing.
Okay.
I do apologize, I was detained in the Superior
That's
Court over in
not
Essex.
an issue. I didn't know that circumstances would play out this way to begin
No.
with.
I didn't either.
We were scheduled for 2 and it didn't get.
Anything
called
doing,
until
Captain?
2:40.
No, nothing else, Mr. Commissioner.
Okay. One of the things that, just to kind of go back to the chief with the 3 complaints on one place, and one of them I take very seriously anytime not just with them, but anyone that does not cooperate. I think that doesn't cost anybody anything. I think if your people that are working in a restaurant or a bar room or any of those places need to be beaten into their head or what you got to do, I don't know, but I would think that anything like that would be brought before us as soon as possible. That gets out of hand. I mean, somebody can make, like the guy said, I didn't realize he was drunk till he fell off the bar stool. Well, give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he never did realize he was drunk. He just always, but somebody that's belligerent, somebody's giving the police a hard time, we need to know about that. We nip that in the bud as far as I'm concerned.
That's a recent complaint, that's from August 7th.
Yeah. So, okay, that's kind of outside of that, anything? Oh, the other thing, how are we doing on the secondhand gold? I still get calls from people. They're asking me, "Hey, aren't you, you know,
We're still looking at those shops. As far as the secondhand gold operations, they seem to be pretty much in line. They're mostly complying with the paperwork requirements. It's the shops that are actually pawn shops that are a little more difficult for us.
okay. Okay, a lot of people get, you know, you see these ads on television, they're unbelievable, send us your gold. Yeah, you know, people do it, I don't know. I can't understand that myself, but they do. Anybody got anything else? Anything?
No, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Seconded, all in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, coming home, Benjamin.